How you doing, everybody? This is Robert Rivera. We're at Who's On First, the show, and we have a special guest, gentleman in Africa. He has a Umpire Association. They play baseball out there in Africa, in Uganda, and his name is Patrick. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing fine.
Introduce yourself a little bit. What's going on in Uganda? You guys are playing some baseball out there, I see.
Yeah, my name is Dradriga Patrick. So I'm from Uganda, and I played baseball, but decided to focus more onto umpiring for certain reasons. Yeah, so actually the background in your video is next to my home, the same field.
I just happened to Google this field, and all of a sudden this one popped up in Uganda, and I was like, wow, this would be a great background. I'm glad. Maybe one day I'll get out there and I'll help you umpire a game.
Sure, you're welcome.
But what makes you love baseball more than anything?
It's a funny story. I was one day from school just walking around the field, and I found this Japanese throwing the ball and catching, throwing and catching. So I was like, wow, is this a sport? They told me, yeah. If I play it, can I become professional? They said, are you asking the question or you want to find out? I said, okay, let me find out. So then at first I was playing football, but I didn't like football for more reasons. Because of the collisions more in the football. So I decided to branch more into athletics. I was running during my school time a lot. So then when I watched these guys playing baseball and there's too much running, I was like, this is perfect for me. So that's how I got inspired and joined playing baseball since I think 2009.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
That's how I joined. All
right, so what position did you play?
First, my favorite position was center field.
Okay.
Later, second base.
What's the highest level you've played?
The highest level I've played is one national team game. That's the highest level. But most of the tournaments and the leagues that happened, I've played in all of them.
And do you see the sport growing in Uganda? Because I remember in the Little League World Series, I believe they had a team from Uganda.
Looking at it in the perspective of players and talent, there is too much talent here. I think if you look at Uganda in Little League, it was outperforming so much in most of the games.
Yeah, you were a player, and now you're transforming yourself into an umpire. Why did that happen?
There used to be a camp, or let's say a camp for a full almost 2 to 3 weeks. There is a complex in Uganda called the Richard Stanley Complex, where most players are going right now under LA Dodgers. I was invited to become a coach, to join coaching program. So when I reached there, I found there was umpiring program as well. So what they did was to train all of us, all of those activities at once. But the section of umpiring was so much, like I think the people who are teaching umpiring were much really focused onto it. I didn't like it, to be honest, the first time. It's about shouting, and I was like, why am I shouting like a mad person here? So the following 2 days, I was like, okay, you know what? I think when I shout too much and do funny things, these guys will chase me. And then I began shouting more than everyone and doing funny actions while making the calls. I didn't know that I was actually tying myself with the rope more into umpiring.
Yeah,
So
that's...
After 1 week, I was given umpire games.
How did that come out, that first game?
Yeah, well, shouting balls and strikes was really good, and calling out, because that's the basic fundamental that we knew. And it became fun. I found myself winning most of them.
Okay. I
was like, maybe this is mine. And one of the guys like, I don't know if there is talent in umpiring, but I think you're talented in umpiring. So I continued more into umpiring. Then after the 2 weeks at complex, when I left, I asked one of the coaches, I was like, what inspired you to come and become an umpire, like even to teach us here? Did the government of Uganda pay for your fares to come here? He told me, no, I just do it because I love it and I want to teach you guys. I was like, so you paid all your fares? He's like, yeah. So then, how did you get interested in coming to Uganda? You would have taught Canada. There are many umpires in Canada who would like to become a professional like you. He told me, yeah, I saw Ugandan players in the Little League playing. So if they are good players, then there must be good umpires. So that sat in my mind. I was like, oh, someone has invested this money to come here. And then I don't want to leave this and end it here.
Okay.
I can retire into playing. I can retire from playing and focus now onto umpiring. So that's how I channeled my mind direct into umpiring.
Okay. Wow, it's a similar story for me. My story, I played Little League and transformed into an umpire. And the reason I wanted to stay an umpire, I did the managing, I did the coaching. And for me, umpiring was getting me back on that field, was keeping me very close to the game. Because, you know, eventually after a while, we all get told we can't play the game anymore. And sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later, but, you know, you can't play the game, but you want to be close to the game. For me, that was umpiring. And I remember going into pro school. I went to Pro Umpire School. I went to Wendelstadts. I believe you got a certificate from Wendelstadts, right?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I got this certificate this year. I met the lady. She's called Peri Baba. I met her still online. There's a page called Umpires or Umpires Life, one of the two. So they usually assign mentors. So she was my second mentor after the previous one. So we connected up and she asked me more about umpiring and why am I interested? After all, there is no much serious baseball umpiring in Africa. And also the level of baseball is not like, it's not paying, it's just there. What's so valuable that you focused on to it? So I told her, yeah, that's my reason. And yeah, so she just surprised me and said, you know what, we have a course going on with Wendell State, please attend it. I took it all 3 weeks.
Wow. I was in Wendelstadts in 2003 and I spent 5 weeks in 6 days a week from 8 to about 5, 6 o'clock at night. And it was very, very intense. I lost my voice. You lose your voice the first week. You lose it. By the end of that week, you have no voice. It's a very intense course. I'm glad. Congratulations for passing it because I injured myself during umpire school. I injured my knee and I was actually about that far from quitting, but you have to be mentally tough. And if you can overcome that, then you're good. The element of surprise is an umpire's worst nightmare. You're playing the game within the game. So you have an offense, right? You have an offense, you have a defense, and then you have the umpire, which is watching what the offense is doing, what the defense is doing, and then you putting yourself in a good place so you don't get surprised to make that call. Do you feel that what's happening to you?
Maybe I was like, I hope one day I'll have the Wendell State umpiring program face to face. This was online. I would like to shout that again.
Yeah.
The big men like Joe West, who just retired.
Joe West.
It would be a very good thing with them.
I had the pleasure of being there with Harry Wendelstadt and Hunter Wendelstadt. These are guys who are big in the game. Harry Wendelstadt, we called him Chief. He was a big guy. You know, the little things that you didn't see, he saw you. He saw what you were doing. Did you see the touch of third? And you're like, yeah, I saw it. He goes, how could you see it? You're looking at second base. Your back is turned to the, he goes, you didn't even go looking over. He goes, you got to look. You got to look, kid. And you're like, oh, wow. He goes, you missed it. These guys are playing for millions and millions of dollars, and they expect you to be right 100% of the time. Umpiring is tough. What's the highest level you've umpired up there?
My best game I've ever done is doing an international WBC games. It was in Tanzania.
Okay.
Yeah, we traveled for East African games in Tanzania. I don't know what happened. I think usually they say when you become too good, maybe the demons of the great enter into your head. So that's when I never missed anything. And someone was like, you were 99% perfect and accurate.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you been umpiring? I told him 4 years now.
Yeah. I had a college game at the University of Central Florida. I was really, really nervous. I saw the pitcher warming up and all I heard was, and I'm like, whoop. I was like, what? Wow. And so guy has the radar gun. It's 94 miles an hour. The instincts start taking over. And that's when you know you've been schooled correctly. You have an umpire association. Is it you or is it somebody else? How does this work with the umpire association?
Currently, I'm the one working on it. So plus some other guys that picked up. So we're around 3 people who are now into this association, and we are the ones training the umpires currently. So that's how it is.
Okay. Do you work a 1-man system, a 2-man system?
Yeah, currently we work on 2-man system and 3-man system.
And then a lot of the guys are catching on, or?
Yes, I can say before lockdown, yes, we used to have, but currently, no.
No. Wow.
It's getting tougher.
And so this field that I have in my background here, you say it's how far from your house?
It's just 15 to 20 minutes away from my house.
Okay. Is that one of the better fields in your area?
Yeah, this is the national stadium.
Oh, that's the national stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. This is the stuff that I look for on my shows. And Patrick, I give you thanks and I praise you and you guys in your country, because you come here to the United States and we're spoiled. You give us a national stadium, it looks like a cathedral, and to tell you guys that that's your national stadium, that's amazing. It just comes down to, if you want it to happen, you want to play ball, you'll do anything. How is the equipment down there?
Currently not. There are no baseball equipments in Uganda. That's the truth. So usually we used to get it through people who donate.
Okay.
One of them is the guy who taught us umpiring. Has been that he was the one donating.
Okay.
There's a group called Umpire Teachers. They donated a few stuff for us here. So it's more of donation. That's how we are working, though currently.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So if somebody wants to donate to you, how would they get in touch with you?
I think the best ways is through the email.
Okay.
Yeah. So there are 2 emails. One is DradrigaPatrick@gmail.com, the one you used, and then Afriki Pearl Umpires. That's the new name that we're going to have for the umpires, because we look into now Africa, because while we were doing umpiring programs here, many other countries started reaching out to us like, guys, can I come and you people teach me? I want to be an umpire. So I would get challenged. I would be like, it's about $1,000 almost to take a flight and come, and then expenditures here. We cannot afford anything. We don't have. How are you going to make it? So it would be like, I will look for a way.
Okay.
Maybe I'll write to our federation and they can send me. So that made me think, I think I should just stop looking at Uganda only. If umpires cannot develop within Uganda faster, then if they develop in Kenya or Ghana or Nigeria, then that's very good. Maybe in the future, this can be another window step.
Okay.
Where umpires can come out from.
The school has already started at the window stats. I would love to see you down here in Florida. I'd love to see you at the school. That would be amazing. The ownership and the managing, is that another aspect that's lacking in Uganda?
The way baseball is run in Uganda, it's more of the national federation.
Okay.
So everything is controlled at the top. So if the leader is not developmental and is not willing to listen to people who have ideas to develop the sport, then it cannot go further.
Right.
So the problem is management and the leadership. Because currently I was part around 2016-17 when we formed the first association of umpires. Around 2018, I traveled for studies. So when I came back, umpiring was dying. So I was like, why is it dying? Because baseball can never be played when there are no umpires.
Right.
And the better the quality of umpires, the better the sport. The players will compete further. So they will develop further and further and further. They compete with the umpires now. It means we have a great league coming up. So I tried to use the same method of the previous association. There's a big challenge. So I realized maybe the next option is to become as a non-profit organization.
Okay.
Government, and then put my focus on to producing better umpires. I think there will be less limits
Okay.
when it comes to we running umpiring programs.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I believe you're going to do something big here. Definitely, I would love to see it grow in Africa and Uganda. I'd like to see it expand out there. When I first saw it, I was like, wow, there's baseball actually going on in Africa. Never would have dawned on me, you know. But this is a great sport, and I love it. I'm sure maybe one day you come to the United States and they take you to one of these beautiful baseball parks that we have here. Without umpires, guys, there's no game. So you got to be nice to the umpires, and we do make mistakes. We try to be as accurate as we can. Good baseball players, I always said, always make good umpires. You know,
Exactly.
and bad baseball players, they can make some bad umpires. You know.
To be honest with you, if I'm umpiring a slow game, I become very stupid. But if the game is really competitive, even if it's my first time, I get excited and I know, yeah, it's time for a challenge.
Yeah, it's time for a challenge. And you know what? I always say, like, you're a baseball player, you always want that perfect game as a pitcher. You always want to be, 4 for 4 as a batter. And as an umpire, you want to be 100% right. Every single call, you want to be on it. And if you can put all those three together, it's always been my dream, open up a beautiful sports complex where I can train the umpires and I can train the baseball players, and then I stick them together. God, you can take me now. It's a beautiful game going on here. I can die happy now.
I have the same mindset.
Have you ever met a famous baseball player?
No, I would wish to meet one. I would wish to meet famous baseball players and famous baseball umpires.
Okay, who would you like to meet?
Oh, I think the retired one.
Joe West?
Yeah.
Well, you never know, man. Maybe I was lucky enough to meet him in 2015. Very big guy, very nice, very cordial. How about a baseball player? What's your favorite baseball player?
Oh, Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. Okay, hey, that's a good one. If you're gonna pick one, that's a good one to pick.
I'd like to meet Mookie Betts. Maybe with Stanton.
Oh, Juan Carlos Stanton.
Giancarlo, the big man.
Yeah, big man. All right. How about Aaron Judge? He's right in that little lineup too, huh?
As well.
Yeah. Well, Patrick, listen, I appreciate you being on. And if somebody wants to get in contact with you, we're going to give them the email. The email links will be on the bottom. And God bless you. I hope you guys do big deal. If you need anything, you can always text me, and we'll get you on another time when you maybe hopefully next year when you're doing some other stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, that will be really great.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys use WhatsApp, Telegram, these kinds of apps there.
Oh yeah, I use the WhatsApp app. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We can do that. Absolutely. If you have any questions or anything, you can always give me a call. And if anybody wants to look on my YouTube channel, I have rules for umpires in there, and there's others from the Little League World Series umpire that I interviewed, the Umps Cares umpires in there. My instructor at Harry Wendelstadt, Scott Kennedy, he was on the show. All right, well, Patrick, thank you. Thank you for being on. I appreciate your time. Here's Patrick. He's doing it. You guys can do it. What do we keep doing? We always keep swinging, because every strike is going to get you closer to that next home run. All right, thank you. All right, have a good one.
If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe, right? You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?